Namaskar, everyone. Welcome once again to Lead from the Front, an initiative by Empowerment Architects, where Brigadier Arun Pandey and I explore practical leadership lessons drawn from military experience and their relevance to everyday professional life. In our last webinar, we discussed how trust is earned long before it is needed. But trust cannot survive alone without communication. Which brings us to today's question: why do leaders fail to communicate? And interestingly, communication failures don't happen because people don't speak. They happen because people stop understanding one another. So, welcome to the show once again. It's a rare privilege to have you on the show, sir. Welcome once again.
Greetings, and it's wonderful to sign in again.
So, let me begin with you, sir. Sir, operational situations are often dynamic, stressful, and uncertain. In such environments, how important is communication to successful leadership?
You see, communication is the gap between the intent of a leader and how he wants to execute it. So, a communication gives clarity, it gives purpose, it conveys the expectations, it gives confidence to the team, and it also involves listening and taking a good feedback. So, unless a leader is able to communicate with clarity, with confidence, and with exactitude, he will not be able to fulfill his intent in a manner which he intends.
All right, sir. Sir, in your experience, you've gone through various operations and crises. In your experience, what is the biggest communication mistake leaders often make during a crisis?
So, you see, the importance of communication is heightened when the situation is a little shaky. And there'll be two examples that I want to give you. Firstly, we take Op Sindoor. So whenever the operation started, there was absolute clarity in what the Indian hierarchy wanted to convey, and the briefings were extremely crisp, correct, exact, and the figures were absolutely correct and verifiable. Whereas if you see the situation in the Iran, US and the Middle East conflict now, there are a lot of conflicting statements. Some people rely on Truth Social, the higher commands in both both the adversaries come up with different messages. So there is a very negative impact, and people are not sure as to what to believe, and the gaps in the information are assumed by various agencies, which has a cascading downward effect on the markets, on the world geopolitical scenario. So the mistakes that are made at all levels, and especially at the level of the leader, can be summarized as speaking before they understand the situation, trying to hide bad news, sending mixed or conflicting messages, over communicating, and assigning blame or attributing faults a little earlier than expected. Tipsy.
Right. Sir, a very famous example, since you gave example, I'll give you an example a little dated in history, sir. एक बड़ी पुरानी हम लोग कहानी सुना करते थे सर, about a very powerful army laying siege to a city, sir. और उसमें से उन्होंने कुछ बंदों को निकालना होता है या फीड करना होता है अंदर. So, a message is sent to one of the, you can say, generals who is actually guarding the entire thing, sir. Roko mat jane do. Right, sir? So, वो दुश्मनों के हाथ लग जाता है, and वो रोको मत के बाद कॉमा नहीं लगा होता है, तो रोको के बाद में रोको मत कॉमा लगा देते हैं और वो कर देते हैं. So, instead of from roko mat jane do, it becomes roko mat jane do. And so that is the power of communication, sir, and which actually led to, breaking down the siege of that particular city and victory for a smaller adversary. So what strikes me most, वो तो पुरानी ज़माने की बात है, sir. Today is that technology has improved, sir, and it has improved communication also. But misunderstanding seems to have also increased correspondingly. So वो भी साथ-साथ में उसके बढ़ गई है. I mean, we remember, sir, our times when computers were introduced into the army. How difficult was it for some of us? And then, those mobiles came in, and those the signals have actually progressed on such a rapid pace कि communication has become now lightning fast, as signalers call it, sir. उसके साथ साथ में ही, sir, emails have come in, those WhatsApp, Teams, Zoom, and various other methods of getting virtual meetings, getting together virtually, analyzing a problem and taking a decision, and then expecting an execution before you given a decision. So that has become a major problem now. But yet organizations, sir, continue to struggle with communication. Communication abhi bhi clear nahi hai, sir. Communication abhi bhi complete nahi hai. So that tells us that communication is not about the medium, sir. It is about the message and how it is received. So that is my take on this, sir.
Absolutely. You see, even in the First World War and Second World War, which is centuries ago, there were vast maneuvers and huge armies were instructed to carry out movements, to carry out campaigns, and messages were sent over Morse code, through written means, through couriers. And despite of the slowness or lack of speed in executing those communications, these maneuvers did take place, and they were very, very successful campaigns.
Right.
Whereas conversely, nowadays, having a multitude of means of communication sometimes add to the confusion. So, मेरे mind में लगता है कि problem communication की नहीं है, problem clarity की है.
Absolutely.
और दूसरा, हम बोलते ज्यादा हैं और सुनते कम हैं. And इसकी वजह से it becomes a one-way sort of a transmission leading to confusion. Tipsy.
Absolutely. Sir, आजकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कम्युनिकेशन ब्रेकडाउन हो रहे हैं कम्युनिकेशन टूल्स के होते हुए भी. I mean, you name a tool, sir, and that is available, जो हमारे जमाने में नहीं हुआ करते थे. And yesterday, sir, I was talking to Captain Gulshan Sanan, then Captain Gulshan Sanan, of course, retired as Colonel Gulshan Sanan. And he is a famous paratrooper from 10 Parasa who undertook the Chachro raid. So, and then he said that the minute on 15th of August, when ceasefire was declared, he was ordered to pull back from there. He was 100 kilometers deep in enemy territory, sir. So he switched off all communication. Now again, a communication comes in, and he executed his task, which was to ambush a major column coming that way, sir. He said, we waited, shut off all communication. We conducted that ambush, sir, and vanquished whosoever was there, and then only fell back the day after, on the 17th of December. So that is lack of communication also has got a very, very, very important meaning, sir. Sir, मुझे लगता है कि
cutting the clutter and removing all sources of misinformation and all sources of distraction.
Absolutely, sir. और सर मुझे ये भी लगता है कि प्रॉब्लम टेक्नोलॉजी की नहीं है आजकल, प्रॉब्लम क्लैरिटी की है. जैसे आपने बोला सर, हम इंफॉर्मेशन बहुत शेयर करते हैं, लेकिन सर इंटेंशन शेयर करना भूल जाते हैं. हम इंस्ट्रक्शंस देते हैं, लेकिन एक्सपेक्टेशन डिफाइन नहीं करते. और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि हम बोलते ज्यादा हैं सर, सुनते कम है. पिछले एपिसोड में भी आपने एक्टिव लिसनिंग की बात की थी. आई थिंक वो बहुत 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 जरूरी है सर. एंड आई एम ऑल्सो टेकिंग आउट a side-by-side episode on empowerment architects called the listening trap, sir, which is also related to this. Viewers can also watch that and gain some valuable information from there. Sir, मेरे हिसाब से communication का मतलब सिर्फ मैसेज भेजना नहीं है सर. Till the time, sir, जैसे हमें सिखाया जाता था, वो whatever little that signals that we learnt in our courses, कि जब तक दूसरा बंदा उसको सही तरीके से बिल्कुल दुरुस्त समझ ना जाए कि सर उसको करना क्या है, communication is not complete, है ना sir? The sender and the receiver should be on the same page after the communication is complete. So that is effective communication. उसको वैसे भी कह सकते हैं सर कि अगर अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं बनी तो कम्युनिकेशन हुई नहीं सर. उसका मतलब है कि बीच में कुछ नॉइज आ गई, या ये आ गया, वो आ गया. तो उसके लिए दूसरे को कहना कि भाई रिपीट whatever I have said, paraphrase whatever I have said, and confirm that if you have understood me, then tell me what is to be done. That is very, very important, sir. This is one lesson from the army that we can actually incorporate in every situation, more so in the corporates.
Yes.
मैं इसको यहाँ summarize करूंगा सर कि communication does not fail because people stop talking. It fails because people stop understanding. उनको समझ ही नहीं आता है सर कि दूसरा क्या कह रहा है.
Communication is the bridge between the commander's intent and what he expects his team to do, and the execution part of it.
Absolutely.
And there are various other facets in which communication can be used. in warfare, sometimes miscommunication or spreading miscommunication also creates things to your advantage.
Excellent.
Similarly, when you build your own brand as
Sir.
an individual or a company, then
Sir.
you communicate with honesty and you communicate your vision, thereby making people understand what you stand for. So this is a tool available to organizations, available to institutions, available to individuals to be able to help them convey their message to their teams, project themselves as to what they stand for, improve their own brand value, and improve and add value to their organization.
Absolutely, sir. Sir, I would also consider listening to be one of the foremost leadership skills which a leader must possess. और मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि great leaders are recognized more by how they listen, sir, than how they speak. And when people around them, when their followers, when their team members, they feel, जब वो महसूस करते हैं कि उनकी बात genuinely सुनी जा रही है, sir, और कहीं ना कहीं decision making में it matters what they tell, what they speak, what they contribute, what they share, then trust automatically build होता है, sir. और जब trust automatically build होता है, तो communication भी improve होती है, sir. Like this is what I've reiterated in the episode of Empowerment Architecture, the listening trap, that when you stop paying attention to what the other guy is trying to tell you, and he said there are 3 levels. So one level is to just listen to understand what the other guy is saying, sir. The second level, or the first level, sorry, is to listen to what the other guy is saying, and you already have made up your mind कि मैं उसका जवाब क्या देने वाला हूँ. The second one is listening to understand and then reply. The third one is to discover, sir, as to why is he saying so. So when somebody says that this project is not going to succeed, sir, or इसमें ये hassle आएंगे, the leader, a true leader, will get underneath the sentiment, sir, and understand. Does he have enough resources to carry this out? Uski skilling itni hai, or is there a skill gap which he needs to fill up, sir? Why is he scared of doing that? Has he got a personal commitment which is actually interfering with and contradicting with the timing of the project and things like that? जब तक ये सारी चीजें नहीं होती, sir, your leadership cannot be very effective. And listening does not slow leadership down. ये कई लोगों का है कि इतना टाइम नहीं है मेरे पास, और कभी-कभी सर हम अपने एक्सपीरियंस को अपनी कम्युनिकेशन में हावी बना लेते हैं, सर, कि don't tell me this, I already know this. I mean, I'm guilty of this. I keep telling my son so many times. So I'm also learning, sir, along with you. And
absolutely, along with all our friends and with each other and everybody that we speak to.
Absolutely, sir. But मेरे हिसाब से, sir, listening makes the leadership stronger, sir. The more you listen, sir, the more your team, your command will have faith in you. The more faith in you, sir, you will have more inputs. You will have decisions in time. It will strengthen your decision making, sir. And lastly, sir, listening is not waiting for your turn to speak. Listening is trying to understand before trying to respond. As you said, sir, कि पहले समझो कि क्या है, and then give a very knowledgeable, a well understood, a well calibrated response. सर, अगर एक यंग मैनेजर, एक एंटरप्रेन्योर अपनी कम्युनिकेशन इंप्रूव करना चाहता है और आज हमें सुन रहा है, सर, तो वो कौन सी 2 हैबिट्स होंगी जो आज से अडॉप्ट करना शुरू करे आपके मुताबिक?
सबसे पहले तो उसे एम्पैथी के साथ सुनना चाहिए. अगर वो किसी से बात कर रहा है तो you see, whenever somebody is aggrieved, he will always say, give me a hearing, just give me a hearing. Nobody is listening to me. This is the biggest grouse that any subordinate can have, कि यहाँ तो सुनवाई नहीं होती है. So the first thing is that he should be able to give a very, very patient hearing, hear with empathy, understand what is being told to him, learn to take notes, and then act on it. And second is, of course, any delivery has to be practiced. So if you want to be a good communicator, a good speaker, then you have to do the diligence of learning your trade first. And once you learn it, you should be able to speak about it with confidence, in a good sequence, in a good delivery, and you can practice it in many ways, either by recording yourself or speaking to people or being conscious of the way in which you put your point across. Tipsy.
Right, sir. Sir, मेरे हिसाब से 2 हैबिट्स बहुत पावरफुल हैं. पहली, सर, जैसे आपने भी अलूड किया था, नेवर अज्यूम अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सो वी मस्ट ऑलवेज कंफर्म इट, सर. तो वो पैराफ्रेजिंग और एक्टिव लिसनिंग इसमें बहुत बहुत जरूरी हो जाती है, सर. और दूसरा सर कि लिसन विद द इंटेंशन टू अंडरस्टैंड, और द थर्ड लेवल ऑफ लिसनिंग सर, सिर्फ रिप्लाई देने के लिए मत सुनिए, समझने के लिए सुनिए। तो मुझे लगता है अगर ये दो हैबिट्स हम डेवलप कर लें तो कम्युनिकेशन ही नहीं, रिलेशनशिप और लीडरशिप भी इससे आपकी दुरुस्त और बिल्कुल स्ट्रांग हो जाती है। सर, दैट ब्रिंग्स अस टू द एंड ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर डिस्कशन सर। एनीथिंग यू वुड लाइक टू से बिफोर आई रैप इट अप सर?
No, I think it's a very important aspect that we are gradually losing sight of because of a plethora of means available for communication. But unless we invest in being a good listener and invest in learning to communicate properly, then we are wasting this very important tool available to us as leaders.
Right, sir. Thank you very much for that, sir. सर, मेरे लिए लीडरशिप की एक सिंपल डेफिनेशन है, लीडरशिप इज क्रिएटिंग क्लैरिटी व्हेन अदर्स आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग कंफ्यूजन। और क्लैरिटी तभी आती है जब आपकी कम्युनिकेशन पर्पसफुल, ऑनेस्ट और एम्पैथेटिक हो, जैसा अरुण सर ने बताया। और इसी थॉट के साथ हम आपको इनवाइट करते हैं हमारे अगले वेबिनार में। आज हमने कम्युनिकेशन की इंपॉर्टेंस को टच किया, लेकिन अगले वेबिनार में हम इस सब्जेक्ट को और प्रैक्टिकल बनाएंगे। हम बात करेंगे कम्युनिकेटिंग अंडर प्रेशर, मिलिट्री लेसन्स फॉर क्रिएटिंग क्लैरिटी व्हेन इट मैटर्स मोस्ट। अगर आप लीडर हैं, मैनेजर हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं या लीडरशिप की जर्नी शुरू कर रहे हैं, तो हम आपसे निवेदन करते हैं कि इस कॉन्वर्सेशन का हिस्सा जरूर बनिए। मिलते हैं अगले वेबिनार में। सर, आपकी इजाजत हो तो जय हिंद।
जय हिंद।